Bad Bunny. That was the moment of the weekend, I think, even with the Olympics going on. What did you think?
What did I think?
Yeah.
What did I? 14.
What did you feel?
14 out of 10. I knew it was going to be good. And I knew it was going to be political, and I knew it was going to be brave, and I knew it was going to be a spectacle, but I didn't know, I think, how big it was going to be and how impactful it was going to be. And I mean, we know about the other show that was going on at that time.
Turning Point? Yep.
Yep. And I expected a lot of people to say, well, it's tough to choose between the two. But I mean, even from viewership, like it was like, what, 0.1 of the, of the viewership.
Difficult to compete with the Super Bowl. So the Super Bowl, they're estimating between 130, 150 million people watching. Turning Point, the estimates are somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 14 million, depending upon what outlet is tracking them. But the Puppy Bowl from Animal Planet outrated Turning Point USA.
I think even when you look at the two side by side, you see, Turning Point, and you see anger, and you see a lot of isolation, even from like the way it looked, like one person on stage, one person talking. And Bad Bunny was surrounded every single shot of when he was doing his Super Bowl, halftime show. He was surrounded by people. There was love, there was joy, there was like celebration of Spanish culture. And there was like this resilience and this party like that you could feel.
There was a real family element.
There was a real family element, and everything down to like at no point was there any English spoken until like Lady Gaga came on and sang. Yeah. And even when she did, she leaned into, into their traditions. It wasn't like, I'm coming to your stage and I'm, going to, I'm going to dress like you at your party. It was about Bad Bunny. It was about Spanish culture. And like none of that was sacrificed. Whereas he also brought it in about America, like all of the Americas. So I don't know, like, is it because I love him and like I want to kiss him, or is it because like he's one of my, I think one of my favorite dancing artists? I think that was also incredibly brave for him to go on, because he had every reason not to. And in a time where, immigrants and communities are terrorized and really, really threatened, for that community to show up the way that they did takes a lot of like audacity and a lot of integrity. And I think it's easier to be angry and instead having the message of like, no, we're here. We are still full of love. We're still full of joy, if not even more. I think that's beautiful. Yeah. Will it cure what was going on the Kid Rock stage? Probably not, because
I watched it.
And we were chatting last night.
I saw both. So I'll say this. First off, the Turning Point USA thing, Kid Rock will always put on an energetic live show. He always will. If you're into rock and you're into that kind of Southern, it's so funny. He calls himself like a Southern style rocker. The guy's from Michigan. But Kid Rock is always going to put that on. But what really failed the Turning Point USA thing is a couple of things for me.
All of their politics?
Well, I don't agree with any of their politics, but yeah, that's a number one. But in terms of like an entertainment piece, first off, the artists that played, the two country guys weren't good.
No.
They were really bad.
No. And that's the thing. If you want to have a good show, like step it up. They didn't.
The young woman who performed, and I forget her name, she apparently, I think she hits her notes. The other guys can't, like literally can't sing. And then you got Kid Rock coming out. And what was interesting, I thought, is when you always look at the camera technique, right? Yeah. So you look at him come out, he comes out of the stage, whatever. And that's, a good entrance, and it's the Ba with the Ba song. And what they're trying to do is say, this is the more energetic, this is the rah, rah, rah show. So what you'll see them do with the cameras is that it'll be like, ping, 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 different camera, different angle. And what happened was it clearly overloaded their own capabilities, because his backing track, he was lip syncing, which is not unheard of. But in a small room like that, like at the Super Bowl, if somebody lip syncs, I don't care. Yeah. Because live performance in front of an audience like that, it's the easiest way to kill a career.
The Super Bowl is also for television. Like you see the people in the stands, like you can't really hear, you can't really see what's going on. Like it is for the televised aspect of it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And like when people do that, like I think Bad Bunny was not lip syncing. I could tell that because he was pitchy all over the place. And I'm not trying to denigrate him, but you can tell when if somebody's perfect, pitch perfect, they're probably trapped.
Especially when there's that much movement. Like you have to be able to, like, you can't run and then like sound exactly like the track that you put out on the album.
No, and that's okay. Like, you know, I don't mind that. But with Kid Rock, I'm like, there's maybe 80 people in the audience. It's only a couple rows deep on each side of the stage.
It was rough looking.
And it's a small sort of club atmosphere. And he's not having to really sing. It's more of a yell/rap thing. And he is lip syncing the entire time. And you can tell because he's like pointing at the crowd and he doesn't have his mic near his face. And the lyrics it's still coming through and it's coming through perfect. And you're like, okay, so he's lip syncing and poorly. And that is like, you know, of course, every single time something like this happens, a company like Turning Point USA is going to declare victory. They're going to say, this was spectacular. We're doing it again next year, whatever.
Whoa, look at those numbers.
The numbers thing's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you saw this, but there was a few streamers that were kind of watching and reacting in real time.
Yeah.
And one of them was like, the chat's not moving. And there's X amount of million people watching or whatever. The chat's literally not moving. And then he just wrote hello into the chat. And when you have that many people, like I don't know how many people are who listen to our show actually watch live streams regularly, but if you get up into 5,000-6,000 concurrent viewers,
it's going constantly,
it's exploding.
Even like TikTok Live, for example, like you can just constant. Because you can speak into the ether. So if anything, people are like more inclined to just
spamming the chat.
Emoji. Yeah. Spamming. Yes. It's constant.
There was nothing. And so listen, I will just say what I think. I think that group, and I think, you know, the right side of the political spectrum has been a lot better with social media. Like Obama basically won the 2008 election on Twitter. And then, you know, the left side in America was like, okay, well, we're good at the internet now and we're not going to move forward. The right side won it in 2016 and 2024 on the internet based on podcasts and social media posts and stuff like that. To me, and maybe this seems like cope to some people, it felt like they botted it. And what I mean by that is you buy a whole bunch of bots from other countries. There's plenty of bot farms all over the world. Yeah. And
it's always the bot farms, but this time I like it, Adam.
And you pump your numbers. And I think that's kind of what happened. I really don't think it had any impact, real impact. And what's interesting on the Bad Bunny side, Jax, is when he signed on, this wasn't a protest.
No, it wasn't. Like,
it was just, it wasn't. I'll tell you it wasn't. Because when he signed on and when it was announced, the NFL owners didn't even know. And you had certain owners like Jerry Jones, who owns the Cowboys, going, well, I don't know if I agree with this. And then Jerry Jones's daughter's like, oh no, we agree with this because the Latin American community is a huge part of our audience.
From Bad Bunny's side. Okay.
Well, Bad Bunny, I think, would have, whatever his protest already existed in his music, it was already going to be there. But what happened here was, to me, you had these like culture warriors on the right end of the spectrum make a big deal out of a Spanish-speaking American doing the halftime show. And I don't think that it was intended to be originally a protest. It just became one. And what I thought was amazing about what he did is he met the moment.
I think
he's like, okay, all right, you want this to be a bit of a protest? I'm going to do it my way. And he did.
But I think also like being non-English speaking in general, like existing as a non-English speaking person in America right now is a protest. Like
100%.
It's like, and showing up, like not being afraid and like showing up as yourself, like that's terrifying.
But you have a hard time convincing me that the NFL did this for any other reason other than they wanted to enfranchise the Latin community, which they're a huge audience.
One of, if not the biggest male artist in the world.
Yeah,
like
people are like,
people are like, I never heard of him. Like leave your suburb. Like it's, and that's the thing. Like we always assume that what we hear, what we consume is the rest of the world. And like,
it's not.
It is a whole lot bigger and a whole lot more diverse than we could ever imagine. So these people are like, I don't understand. It's like, well, and also like America has I can't quote stats, but like a massive Spanish speaking population. So it's
especially in a state like California.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, the thing is that people forget, you don't want all these Latinos in your country, supposedly. Well, then don't win the Mexican-American War in 1848. Yeah. That's how when California and Texas and New Mexico and Arizona all became America. And by the way, there was all a bunch of Spanish-speaking people then. Like this has been, and I think what was so powerful about Bad Bunny on this is that he was saying, we've always been here.
Yeah. Yes.
We've always been
Yes.
here. And this is, and by protesting it the way that TPUSA did, I feel like they made it bigger and more important. I don't think, by the way, that this was the best halftime performance I've ever seen. I still think
Really?
that belongs to Michael Jackson, or if you want to, Prince. In terms of pure performance, I will give it to them every time.
I can't think off the top of my head like their sets.
But I do think it was the most important one.
It was the most important, but also like I think like from a production standpoint, I can't get over the trees.
Oh, the trees were
the
great.
Because I didn't realize that they have a very, very specific number of maximum carts that you can bring onto the field because they don't want it too trampled over. So because Bad Bunny wanted this to look a very, very specific way. So in order to have all the trees, the people had to be the trees because they couldn't cart them on.
And they get 7 minutes to set up.
I love that. And the trees were kind of spooky, but kind of mysterious. Okay. Can I just say one thing that I just realized?
Give it to me.
I'll put it this way. Kid Rock and Ricky Martin are the same age. And I want you to look at those gentlemen side by side and see where hate gets you and see where love gets you, because Kid Rock looks like he came up from the crypt when he came like up onto the stage. And Ricky Martin looked like he beamed down from some sort of angel spaceship.
I do think there's something extremely delicious about the quote unquote, the people that claim they basically own Jesus, right?
Yeah.
Having to pretend that Kid Rock fits that mold. Like to me, I'm like, buddy, this guy came up from the absolute fringes when he broke as an artist. And I think, and was using the friggin' the Southern Cross flag and everything. And it's just, I don't know. To me, do you not just get bored of it? Like there was a time where it felt a little bit like, ooh, this is threatening, or ooh, this is bad, and it still feels bad. But I'm so bored by that group of people who just like, you have control of the government, all branches of it. You've got control of all the major institutions. And you have every opportunity to enact your view of how you think this country and this world should look. And you're still effing miserable. Yeah, you're just a miserable group.
It's the grown-up version of a bully, right? It's like nothing will make you happy unless you're scaring people. And like I am absolutely bored because it's so predictable at this point. I mean, the little baby rant that Trump put out after.
He didn't. He watched the Super Bowl halftime show. He admitted to watching it.
Yeah, like I'm like, sir, but like
all the right thing. Like Trump didn't even tweet about Turning Point USA, but he tweeted about the Super Bowl. You know why? Because it friggin' matters. It matters. And that's why it's important.
I'm bored, but I'm still scared. But not because I'm scared of them, but I'm just scared of the people that aren't critical enough to see what's going on there.
Well,
because they still prey on a very vulnerable and sometimes uneducated portion of America.
Well, Jake Paul is the one that stands out to me.
Logan went at him today too. Also, Jake Paul has had for a long time a massive compound in Puerto Rico.
Well, yeah, he lives there to avoid taxes.
That's what I mean.
He said he was essentially basically saying that I want a real American doing the halftime show, and like Logan went at him, and I'm like, buddy, like how about you put your jaw back on your face, and shut up for a minute, and because he got destroyed in that fight, and that was really great, but. He tweeted today because Logan went at him. A lot of people went at him and said, to clarify, I wasn't calling anyone a fake citizen because they're from Puerto Rico. I live in Puerto Rico. I love Puerto Rico.
That's exactly what you sounded.
He said, but if you're publicly criticizing ICE, who've been doing their job and openly hating on America, I'm going to speak on it. The same reason I call out Hunter Hess, which is a skier who said, I'm not thrilled with what's going on in my country, but I love my country.
Yeah.
And what I find so interesting is what the left gets accused of is these purity tests, right? Guys, when we talk about entertainment, this guy is basically saying, if you love your country, don't criticize it.
Yeah.
That's the point of loving your country, is wanting it to be better.
Yeah.
And openly going, we could be better here, we could be better here, we could be better here.
And questioning things, because the other option is...
America was founded as a protest against the British Empire. Like, I'm not really sure. There seems to be... I said, this is where I go to, Jax. I'm bored of these people.
Yeah.
I'm just so bored. I knew Trump was going to tweet about how he hated it. and blah, blah, blah. And listen, I'm not saying, I'm not going to sit here and tell you the Democrats are perfect. I'm a Canadian. I clearly have my political points of view, but I just have to say, like, do you ever just get tired of this everything is broken stuff?
Yep. Yeah.
It's like, oh, we're Canada's broken. The United States is broken. Listen, it ain't perfect and costs are expensive and sky high. I'll vote for the person that actually tries to solve that. And that's where I want to go with this. Not like it's a culture war and they're taking our spaces and all this shit. Like I'm just tired of
Well, it's like anybody that doesn't look like you is a threat to humanity. And that's where we're at. It's like that. That's the thing. If you are, if you don't look like the crypt keeper that I was mentioning earlier, like if you aren't white and angry and like a man, and like I'm a white, woman, but I'm masculine presenting, and like anyone who is like of color or trans or like queer or like maybe has like question, they want to question authority. Like it's like, nope. So it feels really, I won't say the word.
I think people can be conservative and not be MAGA. And I think increasingly you're seeing a lot of people being like, yeah, I'm conservative, but I'm not that. And I think that's
get him.
Well, but I think that's going to happen.
Good. Then let's go.
I think the midterms are coming in November, and I think we're going to see it.
Let's go. People are dying. Let's go.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Let's go.
But again, Bad Bunny, most important Super Bowl halftime of all time.
Okay. The trees.
The trees we love.
Bad Bunny, Benito, we love.
Did you see the marriage too?
Oh yeah, and it was real. Okay, no, I don't know the story behind them.
So the marriage.
I was in Tree Talk today.
The marriage. Tree Talk's great.
I was deep in Tree Talk and looking at Ricky Martin all day. Yeah.
So really short story. The marriage is great because they were big Bad Bunny fans, and they wrote him a note and said, "Do you want to come to our wedding?" As a thing. And then he actually responded and said, "Why don't you come get married at the Super Bowl halftime?" So that was a real marriage.
I knew it was real, but I didn't know that they were like big fans.
Isn't that cool?
Like, that's so nice. Also, like, yeah, it was a celebration. Do we know how many people altogether? I guess it could have been the cameras, but like, how many people were on that field with him?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
It was like a party.
Yeah, it was. It's awesome. So yeah, I think there was a. I thought Lady Gaga did a good job. I thought Ricky Martin did a good job. There was some fun, and it was kind of fun to see Cardi B in there. I swore I thought Daddy Yankee was coming out when Gasolina started
up. Yeah.
I was like, come on.
I didn't realize, I knew that Cardi B was there, but like when they, it was Pedro Pascal. Everyone was on the front steps, and I loved it.
And Alex Earl. I did not know.
She was invited through somebody she knew, which a lot of people are like, you should have declined that invite.
Is she Latino? I don't know.
No, she's not. She's not.
So that was interesting.
People were like
I was like, oh, is she Latino? I didn't know that.
She somehow was invited because like the person who's investing in her reality television or something like that. But people are like, girl, you should have said no. Like it's all.
Yeah, but I think he's trying to represent everybody, and she's part of everybody in America. So you know what I mean?
I think so, but I think the way that he wanted, like because it was non-Latin people like dancing and everything, but I think on the front, like in that group, it was like, I think maybe she wasn't standing in her place, judging from the TikToks that I saw. It was like all these celebrities celebrating Latin culture.
Well, she's trying to get her moment.
Alex Earl, you know what? She's moving and grooving.
What is she famous for?
She's an influencer.
And
she was just on Dancing with the Stars.
Okay.
The Pipeline.
What did she come up doing?
Doing Get Ready With Me's.
Oh, really?
Yeah. During her college experience.
Wow, man.
I always have trouble, and not because I think that they look alike, but with the names Alex Cooper, Alex Earl. So many Alexes.
Yeah, well, Alex Cooper is a legend, I think.
Alex
Earl's got a lot of work to do before she becomes Alex Cooper.
Listen, one of them I will call daddy, okay?
Yeah, seriously.